guys? We're back for another Dokkan battle video. So, with all of the talk of Broly's active skill condition, I wanted to do a video sort of going over all of the different active skill conditions in the game and sort of giving my thoughts on if I think they are a good condition or bad condition or comparable to Broly's or something like that, because I've seen a lot of discussion. I mean, again, literally the Dokkan now happens, they're explaining the info. I see that the producer says that the active skill condition is the same as 17 and Golden Frieza. In my head, I know, oh, from experience using that unit, that is a bad condition. You're barely going to ever get that. I tweet that out, and then it created a monsoon situation here. And by the way, I have stopped talking about it, but go look at my mentions on Twitter. Everyone else has not stopped talking about it. But I wanted to take a look at other active skills, right? And sort of compare them to Broly's. So we got the wiki open here. I believe this is like all of the active skills in the game. Maybe they probably haven't missed one or anything like that, but we'll go ahead and take a look at all of them. And we'll go over how, good they are, how easy they could be to activate, all that type of stuff. All right. LR Super Saiyan Force, turn 4, easy, good, very good. That's it, very good. All right, so Gohan and Goten, 59% HP or below, one enemy and third turn. I would say this is a bad condition because you have to worry about HP, the amount of enemies, and turn. All of them. All three of those combined can make this kind of quirky to get. Unlike Easy Ace, it's very easy to do. You can see this in some Super Battle Road stages because it's only turn 3. But again, there's, like, you have a lot of conditions here. I would say this is not good because, again, there's HP, amount of enemies, and turn. Comboing is just not great. All right, Lroshi. Lroshi has a very bad one, I would argue, because number one, he has this right here. He has a 30% chance to dodge, and then in order to do his active skill, he has to get hit 7 times. And there has to be another Turtle School category ally attacking in the same turn. You are almost never going to see this, like, anywhere, I feel like. That 7 times is a lot. Sure, like, maybe sometimes in the God event, like, you get very lucky, maybe, like, turn 1 or something, you get, like, 6 attacks. But the thing is, Roshi's gonna dodge a fair amount of attacks as well, right? So, I would say this is bad. Because, for me, very simply, I kind of, like, preface it as good or bad for the condition, depending upon how likely you are to see it, sort of in, like, my experiences across the entire game combined. Roshi's active skill is, like, you're just, like, never gonna see that. That's, like, I don't think the Turtle School category ally attacking in the same turn is necessarily that bad of a part of it, but for him to have to take 7 hits with his dodge is bad. Alright, so Trunks and Mai, you need another Trunks, Mai, one of these characters attacking in the same turn, starting from the 3rd turn from the start of battle. I would say this isn't really too bad, because, especially now, dude, we literally... This condition actually just got way better because now you can run this Trunks and Mai. Well, no, because they're not a hybrid Saiyan unit actually. Yeah, this is not a hybrid Saiyan unit. Okay. Because I was gonna say you can run this unit with this unit and they're a God combo, but no. This is not a hybrid Saiyan unit right here. I think they do still share at least a few links, right? Yeah, they have Cold Judgment, Dismal Future, and Fierce Battle, because this guy does not have Prepared for Battle. Yeah, so they actually don't really work that well together. I feel like this isn't that bad, because, like, on Future Time Travelers, you'll be able to activate a lot of their conditions. You could do it on Final Trump Card if you're using Spirit Bomb Sword Trunks. Obviously, Revenge Battle with several of their teams, it's fairly easy to have another Trunks or Mai on the rotation. Maybe... The only thing I would say is I feel like there needs to be a better version of these characters first in order for it to really be a little bit better. Like this is not... I would say this one is not good, but it's not bad. Because turn 3 is not an issue. But, I mean, this is very specific for characters. And a lot of the Trunkses now... are very old, is kind of the thing, right? Like, if like some of these Trunkses were a little bit newer, like when this guy gets his EZA, it could be a little bit better, right? But like a lot of these guys, yeah, like, dude, look at this. Like you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, you suck. This guy is like okay right now. Like, none of these Trunkses are good. So that kind of, like, you know, we're going to get better Trunkses, but for now, it's not really the craziest. Okay, Cell's is really bad. Really terrible. Because in order to use his active skill, you have to transform with him. Which you have to... This is so inconsistent. You can't, like, account for this happening. This is so inconsistent to fall below 30% HP. This is a similar thing to, like... Well, I guess the earliest you could potentially get Cell's active skill is turn 6. No, it's turn 5. You can get it on turn 5, yeah. Because Cell has to transform, and then it's his next turn afterwards that he can use the active skill. So the earliest you could do this would be turn 5. If you're in there turn 1, or basically... No, I'm stupid. It's 4, turn 4. Because you could get him to transform on turn 2, and then the next turn he's around turn 4, you could use the active skill. But again, this is like the same argument I'd use for Broly's, is like, there's a possibility you get this turn 4, but that's like a 1 out of 200 attempts or something like that, right? To where, like, it lines up perfectly where you'll take enough damage to fall below 30%. 30% is tough, dude, I'm telling you. That's not that easy to specifically fall below that threshold. Then being like Super Auto Road or something like that, then, you know, you transform with him, you heal, and then 2 turns later, you could use the active skill. So Cell's condition is bad. UI Goku's is good. I don't think he needs this. I mean, turn 4 is easy. This is a bit annoying. I've still found that UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta's active skills are very common. Why isn't Vegeta right next to him? Oh, there he is right there. I guess because he's an AoE. But yeah, like, this is... I really wish he didn't have... This is like I would... I sort of, like, jokingly said, like, UI Goku's perfect in every way. If there was one thing I'd point out is the fact that him and Vegeta, they don't need HP restrictions on here, right? Definitely not. Again, turn 4 is super easy, but once you start getting, like, turn restrictions and HP restrictions and enemy restrictions, it just gets bad. I mean, this is good, but I could definitely do without this. Theirs are bad. The Blue Fusions, I do not like their active skill conditions whatsoever. I'd say they're reasonably rare. In order to do them, you have to transform starting from, you know, turn 4 or 5 when they'll transform, or I guess if you're very unlucky, turn 6, like if you float them off on turn 3. And then it's the turn afterwards, just like Cell, where they can do their active skill. So the earliest you could see this is turn 6. What is the meme going around? If it's turn 6, the active skill condition is very bad, all right? Turn 6 is not good, so I don't like theirs. Okay, so this LR... 5 or more reps of Universe 7 on the team is not really that big of a deal with this unit, only because the entire unit's kit is built around running them on reps of Universe 7. So it's like, you're not gonna run this unit on, like, Join Forces where they're the only rep of Universe 7. I mean, when you include... Oh, whoops. When you include that, like, yeah, that is annoying. Then you have to have another 2 reps of Universe 7 on the same turn. The only thing with that... that does sort of lock in that using it on the Universal Survival Saga team is not really that viable, right? This is almost specifically just for reps of Universe 7. I mean, restricting it to only one team like that, I would say is not good. Obviously, we'd like to be able to use it on more than just one team. But, like, when you're running this one team, basically the only, like, condition is one enemy whose HP is 50% or less. But still, I don't really consider myself the biggest fan of, like, HP restrictions at all for enemy or ally. I don't know. I don't really like it too much. So this, I would say this is bad, but, like, this is something you can see this one much more consistently than, like, I don't know, like the Blue Fusions. It depends on what mode you're going into. Like, people will just say, oh, well, you're going to go to Legendary Goku event, you'll hit that every time. Yeah, but not every event in the game has the same length as Legendary Goku event. That's the thing. You're going to run Super Battle Road. You're going to run, like, you know, Dokkan Battlefield. You're going to want to use these teams sometimes to grind Dokkan events and be super fast. That's the thing. When we're talking about reps of Universe 7, there's probably not a faster team than reps of Universe 7 when it comes to taking down events. And if you're going for maximum speed, you probably would bring this unit there. Because you'd be able to get their active skill all the time. Kid Goku's, just this is okay. I wouldn't say it's good, because there's a lot of times you're not, like, you know, you could fall below 59% HP, but it's a turn where he's not around, then you have to heal, then you don't take damage that turn, then next turn you have him and you're not able to get it, right? But at the same time, for like Super Battle Road, you could easily chain this repeatedly. You can get this fairly commonly in like long events and stuff like that. So this is not the best ever, but it's only an HP restriction. I do like when active skills don't have a turn requirement. So that way, like, you could, like, do them repeatedly in, like, Super Battle Road runs. That can be good. Okay, so Goku. When HP is 59% or less with another 3 or more reps of Universe 7 category allies on the team. Again, just like Kid Goku, this one's not really that... It's tough, because this Blue Falcon Goku unit sucks. He's actually horrible. Except for the Spirit Bomb. He sucks. Like, I guess his leader skill's really good. But, like, he sucks. Except for the Spirit Bomb. So, like, if you're using this character, you are only using him for the Spirit Bomb. That's it. Like he's awful. He's this is not a good character. So, because of that, like, you're gonna be running him with the 3 or more reps of Universe 7 category allies, and then there's no turn restriction. So, like, you know, the God event, Super Battle Road stages, you can get this over and over and over while going through a Super Battle Road run. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. I would say this is like mid tier. Like, I don't know it, because again, you have to have a bunch of reps Universe 7, but like this is like damn near the best category in the game after the 6-year anniversary. I mean, you have arguably the top 3 units in the game right here: UI Goku, Goku and Frieza, and Evolution Blue Vegeta. Like, I don't know. This isn't as bad as you'd think, but combined with an HP restriction, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Again, I wouldn't say this is good, but it's not bad. Because again, my judgment is how often you can activate it across the entire game mode, across your entire game. Same thing with Evolution Blue Vegeta. 4th turn is super easy, but 50% HP I'm not the biggest fan of. Goku and Vegeta did not need that restriction on there. So Frieza, this is bad. 3 or more enemies and the 3rd turn, it's just like how common, I guess, because like if you're going up against like the Bojack fight, and no, never mind, because you're, okay, for Frieza doesn't fight like the Bojack fight or the Cell fight in Super Battle Road, because he's extreme class. So like that's the thing, like typically you would probably want to focus down enemies in Super Battle Road. You don't want to spread your damage out, right? So like if we go look here, let me actually, I should pull Super Battle Road up for this to go over the enemy listings, because like this active skill is basically only usable in Super Battle Road. There's no other like place in the game where this is intended to be used. That's like Super Battle Road is it. Here, let me just pull up this. So actually, we'll pull up the extreme stage, because that's just what more people are going to care about doing. So what we're looking for is this one. So I guess if you fight Super Saiyan 3 Goku and these guys, you'll get it. Right, but like these fights right here, you typically would probably want to like get rid of Piccolo as quick as possible, or like Goten. Like you want to focus on one of these guys to get them done before turn 3. You won't be able to use the active skill. The 3rd fight, it's impossible. The 2nd fight, it's impossible. And if you get Team Bardock or the Z fighters, you definitely can get it. So like 2 of the 4 fights, you potentially could get it, depending upon luck for other factors, like what turn Frieza starts out on and stuff like that. I would say it's a bad active skill condition, because you're not going to see this. This is not good for World Tournament, because World Tournament, you want to finish it in 1 round as quickly as possible, and while, you know, using items to make sure you're not taking damage either. So I would say this is a bad condition. 3 or more enemies is not common. And then 3rd turn as well, like, nah. This should have been, honestly, I mean, he is a free-to-play EZA. Maybe he'd be too good, but this should have been turn 1. Just when 3 or more enemies, he should have been able to use it. That would have been good. Okay. So now we got... Okay, this is just, like, the worst dog shit in the world, obviously. Like, because it's HP restriction, character restriction, and turn restriction. Horrible. Awful. Terrible. Bad. This is probably the worst one in the game, right? It might be. So far, this is the worst one we've got. Bardock's isn't that bad. Again, turn 4, but if you're going up against a Wicked Bloodline enemy, which I would argue is actually very rare, this is not that common to see this, but he could do it whenever, but it's still just turn 4. Turn 4 is good. Gohan turn 5, this is where I start to get... I feel like there's a big difference between turn 4 and turn 5. Like, now you're starting to get really deep into some of these events. The good news is that, like, so, like, I've seen a lot of direct comparisons between Tech Ultimate Gohan's Turn 5 and the Legendary Super Saiyan Dokkan Fest Broly. The problem is that Dokkan Fest Broly 5 is reasonable for him getting his active skill, for sure. For this Broly right here, Turn 5 is reasonable, but you're also going to get some Turn 9s in there, some Turn 10, some Turn 8, some Turn 7, some Turn 6, right? Whereas Gohan, it's just once you hit Turn 5, he could do it, right? Whereas Broly, theoretically, can do it Turn 3 as well, but again, that's a 1 in 100 runs or something like that, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, if you average it out, you're getting Gohan's earlier than Broly's. I would be almost certain of that. Genemba. So, I've found that these are not as consistent as I would like, right? Like, it looks very simple. Basically get hit 5 times for Genemba to transform. I'm telling it, like, never plays out that way. It's like, yeah, in your head you say, oh, you're gonna get hit 5 times turn 1, you get transform turn 3. That's not the way it usually works. A lot of the times it can be very inconsistent. Genemba's not a dodging character, though. Like, he's gonna be eating those hits, and he's a great defensive character, so you do want to put him in front of the damage anyway. But I'm not the biggest. I don't want to call this bad, but I don't like this condition. But I'm hesitant to call it bad. But it's, again, this is very inconsistent because there's so many factors playing in. Where Genemba starts in the opening rotation, the opening first 7 slots of the team. Are you getting him on turn 3? Because if he starts out on turn 3, you might not see this until like turn 9 or something like that. It's just pure RNG, which I'm not really a fan of that. Godly Good. This is the best one in the game. Whenever you want, right? Boom. That's it. Best in the game. Whenever you want. Alright, so there's 2 restrictions here. Again, I don't like when they combo multiple restrictions for, like, HP, enemy, turns, and stuff like that. The good news is that I found this is not that bad. 77% is a far cry from, like, Cell, who has to be under 30% or something like that. Turn 4 and the HP restriction can be a little bit of a buzzkill, but I've found that this activates quite often. You do get this very often in all the difficult content. Again, there's specific stages for Extreme Super Battle. Like, people will point out, like, oh, sometimes some Extreme Super Battle stages can go up to, like, turn 10 and stuff like that. Yeah, guess what stages those are? It's this and this. Buu Saga Extreme Class and Potara Extreme Class. This Vegito and this Gogeta, they have like 20 million HP, right? And guess what? Guess what, like, categories this Goku and Vegeta are in? They are in both Buu Saga and Potara, right? That's the thing. Like if we talk about, like, Broly, right? Like, in terms of, like, Broly would be able to get his active skill fairly easy, I would probably, against this Vegito and this Gogeta, especially if you don't have a full Rainbow team, because you can hit, like, turn 10 plus against this Vegito and Gogeta, but Broly is not on Potara. Broly is not on Buu Saga, so it's irrelevant what Broly would do on these stages, because you can't fucking run them on these stages, right? Whereas Goku and Vegeta, you can run them on these stages, and you would want to. They're probably, Goku and Vegeta are the best unit on Buu Saga, they're the best unit on Potara, so you do want to run them on these teams. So you're going to see it quite often when running in these stages, right? That's the other thing that matters is, like, what categories the unit is on and like what Super Battle Road categories, like, have stages and stuff like that now. We'll see when, like, Movie Bosses gets its extreme stage and stuff like that. Broly's active skill could get a little bit more common on some of those stages. But for right now, is Broly on any of these? He could do extreme class, is it, right? Yeah, he's only on Extreme Class right now. This one. This is the only stage you could do it. The active skill in Extreme... Like, this is the only Extreme Super Battle Road stage from the category ones you're running him on. Obviously, you could also run him on the Extreme Int stage right here as well. But, like, Goku and Vegeta, you could use them on, like... what? Okay, so you have the Super STR one. You can run them in Super Class. And then, of course, they've got Buu Saga and Potara, so they have a number of stages there. Coolers is pretty good. Turn 3, if you're fighting a pure and hybrid Saiyan, that's most of the game. So it's very common Cooler will be using this. If you're not fighting a pure hybrid Saiyan, though, it's really bad. One enemy, turn 6, is not good. I don't like turn 6, but most of the time, you're going to see this activate because you're, like, always fighting pure and hybrid Saiyans, right? So, I would say this is good. You're going to see this activate a lot. Again, Angel Gold and Frieza, same with Kibito Kai, best active skill condition in the game whenever you want to. Piccolo's, so Piccolo has an HP restriction, a character restriction, and a turn condition. Not good, but it was one of the worst ever because Namekian was so bad. But now after the same name update, it's a little bit more realistic. You could be rocking another Piccolo. What does Piccolo's SSR do? Does he stack? He does. He doesn't. Dude, if he showed enemy super attacks, this guy would be an insane SSR. Because you probably would still want to run this Piccolo on the Android Cell Saga maybe to be able to utilize this guy's transformation on that team. But I would say this isn't really a good turn. This isn't really a good condition. Mainly the weakness of the Namekian category. Because, having to bring another Namekian category unit really is dragging your team down, right? That's the problem. Turn 4, and then also an HP restriction. It just starts to get real jumbled and rare. The more conditions they add on, the more rare it's going to get, right? Boo Tanks has a pretty easy one. Occasionally, in, Super Battle Road or difficult events, you'll be below 50% HP, but I've found it reasonable to be able to activate this even in the God event where they're, doing 500k damage turn 1. I've been able to get Boo Tanks' active skill fairly consistently. So it sucks that there's a turn and an HP, but I mean, this isn't that bad. Again, it's the same condition as UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta. Alright, so Trunks and Zamasu, basically the earliest you can get theirs is turn 5. Right, so they auto-transform into this stage turn 3 or later, and then their next turn you could do their active skill. So, again, turn 5 is not the greatest, but it's basically the same condition as Tech Ultimate Gohan, right? Okay, now, Boo and Gotenks suck. Suck. Here's the thing with Boo and Gotenks, right? So, they work like Trunks and Zamasu in that they transform into Skinny Boo and Super Saiyan Gotenks starting from the 3rd turn. But then, the way they're, the wording or the way it activates is very goofy, okay? After that, basically, it takes 2 more turns of them on rotation to be able to do their active skill, or if you specifically float them off on turn 3, you can use their active skill on turn 6. So again, listen to what I'm saying. If Gotenks and Boo transform on turn 3 exactly, and you get Skinny Boo or Super Saiyan Gotenks on turn 3 exactly, and then you float them off on that turn, when they return on turn 6, you can utilize the active skill, but that's not enough. Also, 70% HP. Their active skill condition is within maybe the top 5 worst condition in the game. Because not only is it turn 6 and beyond, but then 70% dog shit. Horrible. Goku's, okay, first you have to transform. The good news is that, it doesn't matter. Okay. His normal transformation is irrelevant, right? All that matters is it's the turn 5 and you're under 50% HP, because if you start turn 5 as base Goku and then you're under 50% HP, so he'll transform into Super Saiyan Goku, but then you'll be able to use the active skill as well. So the condition is 50% HP at turn 5 or later, which is awful. Which is terrible. Right? You don't really have to worry about him transforming, because this transformation naturally would occur before this anyway. You could get these on the same turn, but this is really bad. 50% under HP and 5th turn or more. There's no place in the game where that's even really that viable. Same thing with LR Rose. Horrible active skill condition. Turn 6, awful, and you have to have under HP. It's terrible. These are, a lot of these characters are really bad with their active skill conditions. These are all, bad. terrible. When facing only one enemy, 58% HP or more, third turn. This isn't the hardest ever. I mean, in Dokkan events, you'll get it easily. Long events, you'll get it easily, right? Even like the God event, like you'll get that easily. But like maybe it's not that bad. Because having the enemy above 58% HP is not really that restrictive. And then it's third turn. One enemy is worse probably than the HP restriction there. It's hard to say. Wait, did I skip over Bojack? I just realized. Yeah, I did. I skipped right over Bojack. Okay, so yeah, let me come back up here to Bojack. Okay, so one enemy starting from the fourth turn from the start of battle. You're like almost never gonna see it in Super Battle Road. Turn 4 is not bad, but one enemy, I mean, you can see that in Dokkan. It's not that bad, because you could see it in Dokkan Battlefield, right? You could definitely hit turn 4 in there. You'll pretty much, I think you're always fighting one enemy in Dokkan Battlefield. It's okay. Like, because again, turn 4 is pretty easy to get to. And then one enemy, even in like a lot of these Super Battle Road stages, by the time you get to turn 4, you typically are clearing the enemies down. But like if we're talking about, okay, Bojack can be in Revive Warrior. You could definitely get to turn 4 pretty easily and only be fighting this Goku, because you probably want to take down Piccolo first, and you would only be fighting this Goku. Extreme class, again, you probably would want to quickly get rid of one of the Goku or Vegeta, because the longer both of them are around, the more trouble you have. You want to focus fire on one of them. So, like, turn 4 is realistic. The one stage where it's not realistic, let me see, this is Bojack, so he's going up against physical here. The one stage you probably would not see this on is this one right here. This, like, you'll get to turn 4 and there still will be several enemies left. You could easily activate it in all these if you get to turn 4. And then again, maybe like Team Bardock, right? It's okay. Like, just adding this like to it is annoying. But again, fourth turn is not bad. All right, we'll go back. Well, we're closing on 30 minutes. Let me speed it up here. Because we still got, there's a few characters left. Oh, there's Beerus. Oh, damn, there's characters left. Okay. This is okay. But again, like, once you start getting a whole bunch of conditions, third turn, great, amazing. Nothing wrong with that at all. Third turn, very easy to do. Okay, so 66% HP or less. Another 2 Android category allies in the team. Or you could do it whenever you want if there's a Cell enemy. Number 1, this itself is very similar to the Reps of Universe 7, like, LR. This is not as bad, because this is already, like, an Android category support type unit. You want to use them with other Android units anyway, because there's their support. So, like, you're gonna be using them in that situation anyway. But, like, I don't like 66% less HP. It's cool you could do it against Cell, but, I mean, Cell's not that common. So, this is not a good condition. You don't see that often. Okay, this, I don't like below 50% HP, but that's all it is. So, like, in Super Battle Road, you could activate this, like, over and over and over and over again, just on one run, and they're, like, super powerful. So, I mean, you can see this rather consistently because there's no turn restriction. So, again, I'm not the biggest fan of HP restrictions, but I can't call this bad, because you can see this rather consistently. I hate this. 4 or more super attacks, this is a horrible condition. Even though he has built-in additionals, the chances of you getting 4 super attacks turn 1 are ultra rare, like 1 in 100 runs or less, right? Because in order for it to be good, in order to do it turn 3, he has to be in the first 3 slots. You're on turn rotation 1. And he has to super attack 4 times. It's also going to be rather uncommon, I would say, for him to be able to super attack 4 turns turn 1 and be able to make it through that turn without killing whatever you're fighting right there. So it's very rare to get it turn 3 or 4. Turn 5 is definitely realistic, But even more so realistic than that is like turn 7, turn 8, turn 9. That's the thing. So, like, it's like, whereas Tech Ultimate Gohan, it's always just turn 5. You know that. This can be turn 10 if you get really unlucky, right? Like, and guess what? Guess what? I don't know about y'all, but for me, I consistently, with characters like Physical Vegito Blue and this Broly, I am very, very unlucky. This Gohan is awful, terrible, horrible. HP restriction, character restriction, and 5th turn, terrible. Again, it's AGL Gohan, right? Except this, just a movie hero Goku specifically is better than like the android condition that they're asking for with AGL Gohan. You know, you can do it turn 2 with 16, but who cares, right? Like, this condition sucks for Gohan. This is not really so bad, because turn 3 is pretty good, with a Buu Saga Goku. But there are teams this Vegeta's on where you can't use his active skill, right? So, like, if you're running him on, you could do it there. You could do it there. You can there. Vegeta family, you can't get his active skill if you're running a Vegeta family team. Can't do it on a worthy rival team. Otherworld Warrior, you can. Super Saiyan 2, you can. All Out Struggle, I don't think you can. I don't think there's a Goku on here, is there? Buu Saga Goku, no, there's not. So you can't do it on All Out Struggle either. Because remember, it's not just Goku, but specifically a Buu Saga. Majin Buu Saga Goku is not on All Out Struggle. I think he is on Connected Hopes. Isn't he Super Saiyan 3 transforming? Yeah, he is. Okay, so you could do it on Connected Hopes. And then Prodigal Warriors, Goku is not on. But right now, Goten and Trunks, their combo is Kamehameha / Prodigal Warriors. So with that combo active, you could. Yeah, there's no Buu Saga Gokus in here. No. Okay. It's hard to judge. The thing is, I feel like you will see this often. Because, right, Buu Saga Goku is like a strong, like, character right now, including one of the best units in the game. The LR Goku and Vegeta does count, right? Which makes us not that bad, and you will see this often. Even when you're running him in, like, Super Battle Road stages, like, difficult ones, like Revived Warrior, which you can run him in, or Majin Buu Saga in here, right? Like, Extreme Superclass, you could do it. Extreme Revived Warrior, you could do it. Extreme Buu Saga, you could do it. Because, again, like, running this Vegeta with the LR Goku and Vegeta is a good rotation. Like, you could do that and get away with it. And these two would be very powerful. So it's not really that bad. Beerus's 70% HP or less from 4th turn. 4th turn is good, but, again, once you start talking about, like, HP restrictions, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I have gotten this pretty consistently, when doing, like, Realm of Gods Extreme Super Battle Road, though. That's a big thing. But I don't know. This isn't the worst ever, but I'm hesitant to call this good. Because, again, once you combo HP and turn, not the greatest. LR Tech Broly has one of the best in the game because it's literally just turn 4. That's it. Turn 4, as soon as he transforms, you immediately can use it. Very good. B-Pan, turn 3, very good. Okay, Jiren and Gogeta's. I've found theirs both to be very annoying. Because, okay, this maybe would be an issue where, because of my wailed out box and my Link level 10 units and my equipment, like, with these characters and the teams they're on specifically, you typically do blaze through the events so fast, you're not even able to use their active skills. I have found this. Jiren's, it seems so simple. 5 attacks. He's a great defensive character you'd want to put in the way of attacks. Seems so simple, but it's not as easy as you'd think. A lot of times I'll go through the God event without Jiren being able to activate it, right? Like, running a Universal Survival Saga team, you can beat the God event in, like, 5 turns or 4 turns or something like that. Like, the Universal Survival Saga, these teams these characters are on are so fast that, but Gogeta in particular, like, running some of these Super Battle Road stages, you really can get this. You run him turn 1, 4 attacks is pretty common, but one thing you do have to understand, too, is this right here does not count. So if there's 4 attacks aimed at him and he dodges and counters one of the super attacks aimed at him, that one will not count as an attack, right? So it's not as bad as Roshi, where Roshi literally is dodging, so you cannot get his active skill, like, almost ever. It's one of the worst in the game, probably. Gogeta, he's only really, like, consistently dodging super attacks. But, see, these are hard to, like, these are really random. I would say they're not good. These are worse than people think, but I don't think I want to call them bad, if that makes sense. I definitely would argue not good, but not bad. These are, like, average. Again, because, like, maybe it's just, this part is definitely my opinion, that I'm not the biggest fan of just this sort of, like, random, oh, I could get it turn 3, or I could get it on turn 10, right? Like, with Gogeta, depending upon what your run is looking like, that might be the thing. Because you don't want, what if the enemy is attacking the last slot in the rotation, and only attacking that slot, but, like, you're not going to want to push Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta off rotation when he's one of the best characters in the game, right? So, like, there's so many factors that go into this, right? I would imagine, like, on average, you'll probably get the active skill for Gogeta, like, turn 4, 5, 6 in that range is probably where you would see it. And probably a similar range for Jiren as well. But, again, I found that the specific teams and team builds you're running with these characters, they're too fast, and it's very difficult to get it, right? We already talked about Bukkake and Goku. And then this, 80% HP is not that bad. This is basically Goku and Vegeta's. This one isn't that bad. Yeah, I mean, it's basically just Goku and Vegeta's. I don't ever run this unit. Like, of all these active skill characters, well, I guess this is probably the character I've run the least, but this Bardock and Gine is another one who I've barely run. Is that all the characters? Oh, no. Wait. There's still Kefla as well. And Goku. Oh, yeah, there's still, dude, okay, hold on, there's still a couple. So Kefla can be done, what is this, turn 5, if there's a Universal Survival Saga enemy or a Pure Saiyan enemy. Okay, so she transforms into Super Saiyan starting at turn 3. Then the next turn after, 60% HP. Then it has to be a Pure Saiyan or Universal Survival Saga Saiyan when she's Super Saiyan 2. So I'd say that condition is bad. A lot of conditions you gotta trek through. Vegeta Nappas is very good. Just turn 3. Very good. Oh, and yeah, here's this horrible, awful. Again, this is the reason I knew Broly's active skill condition was gonna suck. It's because 17 and Golden Frieza suck as well. Theirs is even worse than Broly, though. Because Broly, at least, even, like, against not pure and hybrid Saiyans, Broly can get additionals, guaranteed. Like, 55% Broly can get 3 super attacks or 2 super attacks turn 1, right? This unit, it's like they don't have built-in additional supers besides their hidden potential system. The best they can ever do is 2 super attacks in 1 turn. So theirs is even worse than Broly. Theirs is horrible. Dude, I go through the God event, a 10-turn run in the God event, and this unit doesn't get their active skill. Like, it's really bad. And, oh, okay, Goten and Trunks as well. Jeez, like, it's, okay. So, turn 3, very good. You do have to have a Trunks or Goten. Right now, this is not bad because Trunks and Goten cards are pretty good. The Int Goten and Tech Trunks, and then the AGL Goten and Physical Kid Trunks are very, very good units, but they eventually will age. This condition's not bad, but because of this condition, you have to run this unit with other Trunks and Goten cards, because this character is built around their active skill condition. Like, one thing with Broly is that if you don't get Broly's active skill in a run, he's still one of the best units in the game. That doesn't change. But, like, Trunks and Goten, I mean, they still are too, but, like, they get, like top tier, like, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta level, you know, Transform Tech Ultimate Gohan level. They get to this level, this Goten and Trunks, after they use their active skill. So, and then the last one here is Piccolo is bad. 1 enemy, 50% HP or more, and turn 4. It's annoying because, like, Super Battle Road, where this could be the best, you're not going to see this. Like, Battlefield, typically the enemy would be below 50% HP. Even in the God event, I found this pretty rare to get. I don't know, maybe it's just the team builds I'm running, but by the time I get past turn 4, like the enemy's usually below 50% HP because I'm never really running Piccon. Piccon is a good floating character, not a character you want to run on rotation. I personally have found this condition to be pretty bad. It's too much. Turn restriction, a enemy restriction as in how many, and an HP for enemy restriction. So, not the greatest. So there we go. That should give you guys an assessment of what I consider a good active skill condition and a bad one. Like turn 3, turn 4 guaranteed is beautiful, but like, you know, something like Broly's or like, you know, I guess I would say like one of these characters like Gogeta or Genemba or Jiren, where it's just complete RNG. Because there's so many RNG factors in this right here, right? Let's go. Gogeta is probably the best example of what I'm talking about right here. So, number 1, what turn does he start out in? Is he starting out on turn 1, 2, or 3? Based upon what positioning he is in your opening rotation, right? Then after that, the position of enemy attacks really greatly matters. And then on top of that is like, will Gogeta dodge super attacks or not, right? Like there's so many factors in. I'm not the biggest fan of all these different factors combining. I like these active skills when it's basic. This is fine. Just 50% HP. You can consistently see this, account for this, plan for this. This is very random. You know, there's lots of active skills here. Like this unit is completely dead. Because, like, the God event, which is where they could be really good, typically you get turn 6 or 7 where you could transform into Super Buu and this unit becomes really good, except you don't have over 70% HP, so you can't even use the active skill. It's horrible. So this unit is just completely dead. They're just, like, not good at all. So, like, there's a lot of factors in for active skills. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys consider good conditions. Again, I wish this is what we would see more often, rather than, like, this, where there's 600 conditions in there, and it really can restrict your team building and like really restrict like how you're maneuvering through an event and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.